Welcome to The Terrible Take, a daily segment telling Steeler Nation what's on our minds. I'm Melanie Friedlander. You've heard of Overreaction Monday. Well, Steelers fans were treated this week to Overreaction Friday, one day after seeing their team beat the Tennessee Titans on Thursday Night Football, and Diontae Johnson and his excruciatingly long receiving touchdown drought in yet another rock fight where the Steelers made their way to a 5-3 record. George Pickens had a much less successful night if you go by box scores, logging just 2 receptions on 5 targets for -1 yards. His numbers would have looked a lot better if he had gotten 2 feet down in bounds in what would have been a touchdown. Despite that, in his post-game media session, quarterback Kenny Pickett praised Pickens for his contributions to the win in ways that don't show up on his stat sheet, blocking for his teammates and pulling double coverage to help them get free. The day after the game, both the media and fans spent way too much time analyzing Pickens' activity on Instagram, as the second-year wide receiver deleted all of his old posts and added a couple of Instagram stories highlighting a few of his plays from his Georgia days, with a comment simply stating, "Free me." Yesterday, things seemed to de-escalate, with some of his Steelers posts returning to the page and a joking comment about how our assumptions were wrong and none of it was actually about football. Sometimes when pro athletes pull moves like this, they're just trolling fans and laughing about it with their teammates from the couch. But in Pickens' case, it's fair to say that this was his way of expressing his frustration after a tough week. Following the Sunday loss to Jacksonville, both the Jaguars players and the team's social media account mocked him for a comment he made prior to the game. And then, on a short week, a very disappointing showing against the Titans just 4 days later. Comparisons to Antonio Brown are already starting, and some have suggested that Pickens could even demand a trade or wash out of Pittsburgh. None of that is happening. Pickens has the support of his teammates, especially wide receiver Diontae Johnson, who immediately responded to the backlash by posting his own Instagram story with a clip of him and George. He also has a head coach who has managed more challenging personalities in the past. Yes, Pickens does need to mature a little, but this is not terminal narcissism. Pickens isn't AB off the field. He doesn't spend his energy building his brand at the expense of all else. He's just a young, extremely gifted player who has been working hard to improve his craft and not getting the results he wants every week. It's not all his fault either. Watch the film and you can see that his quarterback's timing and accuracy have impacted his production. You want to know how many on-target passes Pickens has dropped this season? Just 1. Diontae is back and healthy, so he will be getting more attention from opposing defenses again. And with George Pickens seeing more single coverage, Kenny Pickett will no doubt be getting him the ball. And that will be the simplest solution. That's my take. You can follow me on Twitter @GirlSurgeon. Check out The Terrible Take every day at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Follow us on SteelersDepot.com and check out The Terrible Podcast with Dave Bryan and Alex Kozora every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.